In our life, we face a lot of tension and we face a lot of stress. And one of the major reasons for stress is your examinations. But these examinations are a test of your character. But how do we manage this test of character? Because unless we have examinations, how do we know that we are geared up for life? How do we know that we are geared up to face the stress in our life? Imagine you go to a gymnasium and you're practicing your dumbbells, and your dumbbells are only a pencil. Will your muscles grow? Never. But if your dumbbells are of a weight which test your strength, only then your muscles become stronger and stronger. So today I'm going to tell you some tips and some experiences of tackling your examinations and overall stress in life. The most common question which is asked is, why is it that when we are in stress, when we are in tension, when we are going to write our examinations, we learn everything, but when we go to the examination hall, we forget everything what we have actually learned. Now, psychologists have done a lot of research and they've come out with a very, very interesting thesis to find out what led to all this problem. Whenever you're learning something, whether you're attending an examination or interview, there are 3 stages in which you learn something. These 3 stages are called acquisition, consolidation and recall. Acquisition. When you're reading your exam material for the first time, you will see that it will just get stored in your short-term memory. You're reading a mathematics formula, or you're reading a science quiz, or you're reading something for your interview, or you're trying to remember something in life, it just gets stored in your short-term memory. The second stage is something called as consolidation. When you actually read that material again and again, or you close your eyes and try and transfer it from your short-term memory to long-term memory, that's when the consolidation takes place, and that's when the material gets stored in your long-term memory. The third stage is something called as recall. When you go to the exam, or when you go for an interview, or when you go for anything in life, when you want to remember something, at that particular point of time, when you recall, when you remember it, it gets translated into your recall and you write it down in your examination or answer your viva or whatever you want to do. Now the problem is that there is something called as state-bound recall. What is the state-bound recall? State-bound recall is a simple psychological phenomenon which states that if your emotional state is different at different stages of learning, you are not able to recall the material at that particular point of time. What do I mean by that? While attention or acquisition, you are very, very peaceful. While you're consolidating your memory, you are very peaceful. But when you go to the exam, you start panicking, you have trauma. The emotional state is not the same. And since the emotional state is not the same, you will never be able to remember that material. But the next day, when you're having bath, and you're under the shower, you're peaceful and you remember whatever you had forgotten during your exam time. So the trick is, can we keep that emotional state common during all the 3 stages of learning? So when we are peaceful during our acquisition, when we are peaceful during a consolidation, when we are peaceful during a recall, when all the 3 states are the same, at that time the recall is optimal. But the question arises, how do we maintain that emotional stability during recall? How do we maintain our emotional equanimity while writing our exam or facing any other stress in life? The question can be answered in 3 simple ways. The first one is, if you want to maintain emotional equanimity during recall or when you're facing a difficult situation, the first and the most important technique is a technique which is called PMR, or positive mental rehearsal. What is this positive mental rehearsal? Positive mental rehearsal is a technique whereby you rehearse going through the situation in life which you're going to face with a positive frame of mind, so that when you actually face that situation, you are able to tackle it with a lot of poise. For example, when you are actually preparing for your exam, after you read a lesson, close your eyes for 2 minutes and imagine going to the exam hall peacefully, confidently, going and seeing the question paper peacefully, confidently, and imagining that whatever you have studied for the exam has come. And when you rehearse this again and again and again, there are neural pathways created in your brain which make it possible for you to actually face the exam with a lot of poise at the time of the examination, because you have rehearsed the positivity again and again. So the first thing which you have to do is, any situation in life, you might have to go and face an interview, you might have a stressful person to meet, rehearse in your mind as if everything is going well. Confidently you're facing that situation, and when you actually face the situation, you'll find that it becomes very, very easy. The second way in which you can maintain your emotional poise and equanimity is to take control. Now let's say you go to the examination and you find that you're feeling very tense, or you're going for a situation in life where you're actually feeling very, very nervous. Take control. What do you mean by take control? Close your eyes, leave your pen on the table, and start actually grading your anxiety from a scale of 1 to 10. Let's say your anxiety is 7. Actually notice your anxiety coming down from 7 to 6, from 6 to 5, from 5 to 4, and you don't even have to wait till 1. Because when you become mindful, when you become aware of your anxiety, there is a magical thing which happens. Your awareness dissolves your anxiety, and you can actually pick up the pen within 2 or 3 minutes, and you will be as cool as a cucumber, and you'll be able to write your examination. So take control. There's a story. There was a lady who took her daughter to a mall, and this daughter was around 5 years old. When she went to the mall, she saw a teddy bear there, and she got really excited. She wanted to buy that teddy bear. She started shouting, "Mummy, I want that teddy bear. Mummy, I want that teddy bear." The mother told, "No, you cannot buy that teddy bear." But this girl was adamant. She sat down on the ground and she started screaming and crying. The mother, instead of losing her temper, took control of the situation. She stood near her daughter and she started telling, "Relax, Sunita, relax. Relax, Sunita, relax." There was a man who was passing by that place, and he came up to the lady and said, "Oh my God, you have such patience in life. If I would have had a daughter who throws up so much tantrums and who throws her temper so much, I would have taken and slapped her. I would have lost my temper. Your daughter Sunita is very, very lucky to have a mother like you." The lady smiled at the man and said, "Who told my daughter's name is Sunita? My name is Sunita. I am telling myself to relax." And that's what is taking control. Take control. Tell yourself that I'm going to grade my anxiety, and watch the anxiety coming down. The third and the most important technique for you to tackle any stressful situation in life, and especially your examination, is understand that the situation is not the end of the world. We call it the end of the world syndrome. Your examination is only a pathway for you to achieve something in life. Your examination is only a milestone which you have to pass to reach a final destination. So even if you are not going to do well in this examination, it doesn't mean that you are a failure in life. There was this famous entrepreneur called Suchiro Honda who used to always say, "Failure is an event, it is not a person." So keep reminding yourself, I am going to do well in life, but this is not the end of the world. I am going to do well in life, but this is not the end of the world. I am a big match player, but this is not the end of the world. Because you have faced so many examinations in life. And all those good examinations which you have done in life, try and recall those situations in which you have been successful. When you recall the good situations in life, when you have been successful, you will find that you become more positive and realize that this examination is just another examination which will pass. This is not going to be the end of the world. There are so many other examinations, there are so many other situations which you will have to face in life. For that purpose, this is only a pathway. This is only a gate which will help you to cross there. So just remember, think of all the good things which you have done in life and try and realize that you have been successful in many situations and you will be successful now. And even though you are not going to be successful now, there are always going to be opportunities in the future. Keep reminding yourself. Keep reminding yourself that I am a great player, I am a big player, I will do well, but this is not the end of the world. There was a king in ancient times who called all his ministers and wise men of the country and asked them, I want a book which contains the wisdom of all the different religions and different psychologies and different philosophies, so that it can become one definitive guide for me to understand life. So all the wise men got together, they made one big volume of a book. When the king was reading the book, he found that it was too much to learn. So he called all the wise men again and he said, I don't want this one big book. Can you condense the wisdom of all the ages into only one chapter? All the wise men got together and they condensed the wisdom of all the ages into one chapter. When he was reading the chapter, he found it was too long. He said, no, this is also too long. I want you to make it into one page. They sat together and they actually made it into one page. When he read that one page, he said, this one page is okay. But can you sit together and make it into one line? Can you give me one line of wisdom which will help me to brave all the situations in life? The wise men sat for days and months together, and finally they came out with one line which distilled the wisdom of the ages. The line which they wrote was, this too shall pass. Your difficult situations will also pass. Your happy situations will also pass. When you are in difficulty, realize that this is not the end of the world. This too shall pass. When you are feeling very elated in life, just remember, this too shall pass. That will help you to emotionally be equanimity at any point of time. This will help you to take control and understand that you can tackle any examination with a lot of confidence. So just remember, students and all my friends, every time you face a stressful situation, you will face a memory loss because of state-bound recall. You are not having the same emotional state when you are acquiring the knowledge, when you are consolidating the knowledge, and when you are recalling the knowledge. But how do we maintain that same emotional state? In three different ways. One, when you actually do something called as positive mental rehearsal. Second, when you take control. And third, and the most important thing, realize this is not the end of the world. This too shall pass. Thank you so much.